This recipe tin eats trauma is like deep.
Wow, okay.
And it's dense.
Bake with Brookie. Hang on, is this all about a caramel slice?
I have alleged that 2 recipes of mine, caramel slice and baklava, as well as a number of recipes from other authors, have been plagiarized.
Oh, shut up.
I did not plagiarize any recipes in my book.
To have them copied and not accredited is hugely frustrating.
I've never heard of Brookie. I obviously know Recipe Tin Eats because of you and friends of mine, Luke and Em. And a couple of years ago, we were up there for Christmas and they were like, oh my God, have you heard of Recipe Tin Eats? Is this where we are in our lives?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Is this like what our life has come to? It used like a conversation between Luke and I used to be like, oh my God. So they make mojitos like pre-made in a bottle now.
And then the next conversation was, what the fuck did we do last night?
Yeah.
And now it's, what are we going to eat tonight from Recipe Tin Eats?
And that was the realization for me that, one, she's very good, Recipe Tin Eats.
She's amazing.
And two, we've aged.
And I think we've got to lean into that, embrace it, love our new life, love the life that we're living, which is, if you aren't getting it from Recipe Tin Eats, you're not living.
You're just quoting things that go on a mum's kitchen wall, by the way.
Live, laugh, Nagi.
Okay, so the Recipe Tin Eats chick, her name is Nagi.
Nagi. And so Nagi, she's got 1.5 million followers on Instagram. So
she's
1.6
killing
million. She is absolutely killing it. She's got 2 recipe books that I have. There might have been another one before those 2, but Tonight and Dinner are the ones that I have.
Okay.
And they're amazing and she's amazing. And she was for anyone who doesn't know, she was a corporate girly. And then she one day was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to cook. And she got a camera and she did the recipes and she did it online and she is just gone bunta.
Well, her recipes are really easy to follow. Oh my God, we're so boring. Her recipes are...
They're easy to follow.
Yes.
They've got subtractions. Like if you need to change something out, she's already given you that option. She's got, if you're measuring in grams or cups, she's got both options for you. She is a person of the people. So Nagi put up on her Instagram page recently that she saw some of her own recipes in a different person's cookbook. And the person is Brooke Bellamy.
Okay, Brookie.
So it's called Bake with Brookie. Mm-hmm. Brookie is a
thief, a dirty, filthy, bloody thief. This is what I found out. She's a thief. Sorry, you want to explain exactly who she is other than a thief?
Well, she got famous on TikTok while baking, and then she's ended up being able to open a bakehouse. I believe her bakehouse is in Brisbane. She also has 1 million followers on Instagram now.
Wow, okay.
And I mean, on her personal page, she has shut that down. She has made that private. Nagi comes out and she says, when you see your recipes in a $4 million cookbook, and what that translates to is that the book has made Penguin Publishing $4 million.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a cookbook, isn't it?
But now, like, it's a crowded market. It seems like a lot of money for a cookbook.
I have made allegations against Penguin Australia that the bestseller Bake with Brookie by Brooke Bellamy contains plagiarized recipes, including 2 of mine, caramel slice and baklava, as well as recipes by other authors. She goes on to say that she contacted both Penguin and Brooke and she tried to resolve this. She's had her lawyers involved, but it's been ongoing behind the scenes for months. And so that's how she ends up in a place where she's posting it on Instagram. So I think a lot of people thought, why is she doing this? Like, why is she airing her dirty laundry on the gram? Well, this is like the last ditch effort.
So the lawyers and stuff have not worked out.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I read it, because she did say that she had tried to deal with it offline. And she even said in the post, either the original or maybe one of the stories, I was on all of it. She even said she would have been willing to work with Brooke and be credited for the caramel slice, for the baklava, which is what Nagi does sometimes when she has a recipe. So recently she released her best chocolate chip cookie recipe, and it was actually inspired by Baker Boy.
Right.
And so she credits him the whole way through, and she says in what way she wants to change the recipe, i.e. she wanted hers to be more buttery. So she is known for doing this herself. So she apparently had gone to Brooke and said, like, it would be fine if you want to do like a reprint and just like make a comment that I have been the inspiration behind this recipe. So you go on to see that the comparison of the recipe. So she basically has hers and then she's got Brooke's and they are the same thing.
Wow.
Down to, there is one, now this is where I love Reddit. There is one part of a recipe that says you need to use a tablespoon here. And in bracket, yes, a tablespoon. Brooke has literally put in brackets, yes, a tablespoon. Now,
So it feels like what they did was like they highlighted it and they went Control C.
Yeah.
And then they went to their book and they went Control V.
Originally, when I saw this, because I love Nagi, but I was like, oh, it's a recipe on the internet. Like, can you really be calling copyright on this? Like, this seems a bit crazy to me. But when I went and saw that she's even written, yes, a tablespoon, like she didn't even bother to delete that. You could have just like deleted that. She has left it in there. It's too clear that it's been plagiarized. So then Nagi goes on to include another woman, I believe her name is Sally's Baking Addiction online, who was also not credited by Brooke in the book. Brooke in the book. So it gets pretty dramatic. And then, of course, Nagi comes online and she has to say, please stop the trolling.
Please stop the trolling. I know I've made serious allegations, but this does not justify the personal attacks that I've seen online, and I'm asking you to stop.
Okay, so people are going really, really hard on Brookie.
Yeah, so she had to delete all, well, not delete, but you know, you can hide the comments on the Instagram post that called her out.
Yeah.
So she turned all of that off, and then she put the stop the trolling one up. I tend to agree with some of the commenters who are like, come on, Nagi, you knew this was going to happen.
Oh,
like, you probably shouldn't have had the
absolutely.
comments on to begin with.
I'm torn, right? Because I don't like seeing someone who has made something and is like actually doing things right. Like you say, like crediting Baker Boy, crediting this other chick by going, look, I've actually used this recipe and I've tried to tweak it for myself and this is where the original one's from. I love that. But it sounds like Brookie isn't that. It sounds like Brookie's living in Brookie's world.
Yes.
And Brookie is protected by this huge publishing house. It gets to that stage where you're like, I don't know what else to do but publicly call someone out.
Firstly, I want to correct myself here because I don't want to get in the midst of all of this.
No, do it. We need the comments. So say wrong stuff so people can put in the comments, you guys are so wrong.
The tablespoon thing wasn't actually Nagi, come to think of it. That was the other woman who Nagi was including in some of the plagiarized stuff, because that was for, I believe, like a vanilla slice or a vanilla cake.
Yes.
And it said, yes, a tablespoon. I then learned a little bit more about Brooke. Do you know, I'm going to share my screen with you.
Okay.
This brand.
Do I know Bellamy's Organic? I've seen this brand
seen
before.
This in the shop?
I've seen this brand before. I don't have like progeny, but I have seen this before.
What's Brooke's last name?
Oh, shut up! Is she the
Brooke
heiress
Bellamy.
to the Bellamy fortune?
So she is married to the son of the people who created Bellamy's Organic. Now, they don't own it anymore.
She's a Richie Rich!
Yes. So they don't own it anymore. They sold
Right.
to a Chinese company quite a long time ago.
Yeah, because Chinese companies love baby formula companies.
They do. And they sold for like $1.5 million, but it was back in the early 2000s, I believe. So
Okay.
it, like that back then would have been a lot more.
Yep.
So they are from money. They are from like entrepreneurial money as well. And the husband, like Brooke's husband, is the Bellamy. So he is the son of the two Bellamys who created Bellamy's Organic. So when I was then reading all the commentary on Reddit about Brooke and how she runs her business, a lot of people were coming forward to say that they worked there and that she underpaid her staff They were told when they're allowed to talk or go to the bathroom. She once threatened to fire an employee because she asked for a day off because her babysitter called in sick. She would apparently make them work so hard to get orders out that gave them no time to clean. Now, remembering this is a bakery.
Yeah.
So apparently the hygiene was disgusting. Orders were shipped at 3 or 4 p.m. So Ozpost would get there around 3 to 4 p.m., but they would start at 6 a.m. and they were not allowed a single break. There was disregard for the way she talks to employees. She apparently calls herself Hitler in relation to the way she manages staff.
No, she doesn't.
And she would change staff timesheets around the minutes and hours down to, like, round the minutes down to pay them less. Now, this is all a comment on Reddit from someone who says they used to work at Brookie Bakehouse.
Yes.
So, like, this is all alleged.
Okay.
But this is the stuff that's coming out, and this is why her already large family fortune is being brought into play, because they're saying she basically was just already a rich girl and she doesn't really care.
No, and she's just doing all this to get rich.
Yes,
okay, richer. Sorry, richer. So, again, a staff member or someone who allegedly worked under her and was like maltreated. It's so hard to just like believe that nowadays, because you know me, how many people would come forward and say that I like was tyrannical in the other shows that we've worked in. How many people would actually
all
come?
True.
Like, okay, don't.
No, it's not. It's alleged.
It's not true. But people would swear black and blue, or they would at least get into the comments of a Reddit if there was a scandal around me, like treating you poorly.
Yes, absolutely.
Which, you know,
so we
crossed.
have to take it with a grain of salt. I guess the thing is that a lot of people are coming on to sort of agree because they've also worked there.
Yeah.
Someone brought up the Fair Work Ombudsman and said, why haven't you gone to them? And they basically said, because she's got so much money, everyone's just scared.
Right. And it kind of, in those cases, it could just be a waste of time because she's got high-priced lawyers and has all that, you know, what seems like that generational wealth behind her with the whole Bellamy empire.
To make matters worse, firstly, Brooke came out like the next day and put up a Instagram statement basically saying like, I didn't plagiarize, la, la, la. Like everything that you would expect that she would have said. So you can see that on her stories. She saved it as a highlight, but she has not been active basically since she posted that. This is the thing that makes it super dodgy. Now, as Nagi said in her video saying stop the trolling, she is going after Penguin, not really Brooke the individual.
Yeah. Because obviously Penguin didn't do their diligence by checking that these things aren't plagiarized, and you're a book company.
Here's the problem. Penguin did agree to redo the books, reprint the books with edited caramel slice and baklava.
Okay.
Which is essentially them saying
we mucked
that
up.
They agree that they fucked up.
Yeah.
And they've posted a plagiarized recipe. But when Nagi didn't agree to their terms, they just didn't reprint. And so you're kind of left going, well, Penguin knows that there's a plagiarized or many plagiarized recipes in the book. So I don't think that this is like gonna go Penguin's way.
Well, so now that it's public, obviously the lawyer stuff that happened pre-Nagi coming out and calling out Penguin in particular.
Yeah.
So it seemed like the legal route had already been exhausted. So is there any more like legal thing that could happen now? Like, do you think it's just more like a public pressure that they will now reprint things, and does it really matter at this point? Because old mate Brookie stole it.
She's already made her money. Like, I don't think Brooke is going to have the money taken off her. I think it's more like, do you just stop the publishing of it now? Like, whatever's out is out. A little bit. This is a funny one too, because I'm pretty sure Penguin were the ones who posted the whole pantry, the Belle Gibson one.
Shut.
So people. So people are coming and saying, "Hey, did we all forget that Penguin just like printed the whole pantry without double checking that?" I might double check that now.
Yeah, do that before we press post on this video.
The whole pantry by Belle Gibson. Penguin Random House. Yeah.
So I know.
Slam dunk.
Like, come on. Allegedly, Penguin in that, they actually like had someone sit down with her and like try and go through all of the things that were supposedly facts and question her on this. And at the end of that, they went, you know what? There's a lot of stuff that doesn't add up. And still
Published it after that.
yeah. Like they still did it.
They don't care. They're making their money. They're letting Brooke post whatever because they knew that it would make bank because TikTok and Instagram love her and she's a pretty redhead, which tick all the books. She's baking. She's perfect. They don't care. Penguin don't care.
Is this going to ruin anyone's...
The tour. Yes.
Brookie's World Tour is done.
Brookie's World Tour
This is going to ruin the world tour. Is it going to ruin Nagi and Recipe Tin Eats? Like, has she come out looking better here, even though she called someone else? Or is Brookie going to be, like, actually a bit ruined? Or does she have a lot of, like, bolted-on supporters?
Good you said supporters there. No, I think Nagi's fine. I think she's fine. I was wondering this myself when I was watching everything that I could this morning and trying to understand it all. There will be those commenters who are like, you should never have called her out if you didn't want there to be trolls.
Yeah.
Now, Brooke doesn't need to be trolled. I don't agree with trolling.
No,
in
you
any
should never
form
be
because
trolling
that's
anyone
bullying.
like that. Like, let everybody just figure this out for themselves.
Yes.
You don't have to, like, be nasty and mean.
But I think, like, Nagi is so trusted. She is, like, incredibly trusted by the Australian public and just the worldwide as well. I think even the US are pretty on board with Nagi. Like, my husband knows no one. He knows Nagi. You know what I mean? Like, she is so trusted.
Yeah.
I don't think this can swing Brooke's way. I think it can only be that Penguin needs to come out and finally say something.
And I think we can all agree that next time Penguin do a big deal with someone...
we're going to be questioning it.
Yeah, we're going to be going, I don't know. Like, have they actually checked any of this shit?
But also, if you want to post my book, I'm not fully finished, but Penguin, I'm happy to work with you. I don't mind. I don't mind.
God.
I will go with the
Okay,
worst
all
of
right.
the worst,
Okay.
I don't mind.
Let's make sure we take out every Penguin reference just so you've got a shot.